Hey, LLD, with Anno 117 coming out this year, allegedly, what improvements or quality of life are you hoping for in the franchise? At this point, I'm hoping they just don't Civ 7 the UI.
I have the lamest take on this in the world.
Anno 1800 was perfect, and if they just do that with a skin, then it'll be a great game.
This is the lamest take in the world, and I have the exact same one.
I mean, they put, dude...
It's how all good games
just
should
give
work.
me a cool theme, and really don't change a bunch. A lot of the expansions for Anno 1800 were really just more of the same.
Yep,
and they
it was
were great.
And yeah, that team put so much love and care into
100%.
into what they do. There's so much depth to the gameplay. The voice acting is great. The characters are so fun, and I actually never played the campaign.
I did.
I dabbled like a tiny bit, but
It's pretty good.
Okay, cool.
I
didn't really need it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I just love...
It's really not a big deal, and I don't think it needs to get much better, personally. They could make it a little better, I'm sure. There's some possibilities there, but I don't think it needs a dramatic change. It's basically just the multiplayer, but with some, themed tasks.
And I love how they handled their microtransactions. They felt more like classic game expansions because they really did literally expand the game.
Which made me completely cool with it.
Everything that was great about it and made it bigger and more better and deeper. And with, again, back to what I just said, with love, with thought, with care, with love, making sure that the expansions don't wreck the balance of the original game and destroy what was great about it.
Yeah.
And make it so you don't need you don't need them. You can still just play the original game and enjoy it. The only thing is, and the way the multiplayer works is, depending on which expansions you each own, you just activate or disable them for your joint play session. So not everyone has to have, Sunken Treasures or whatever else. You don't have to have every expansion. So
there's things that I think they could improve, but I wouldn't want dramatic changes. I bet you they could make expeditions a little bit cooler.
Okay, would you want them to be grittier? Could your people need do you need to have anti-drug enforcement or something? Could they make it grittier? I'm just an idea. Okay, what about land combat? Because the original Anno 1602 had land combat. It was kind of terrible. It was janky, but it existed. And it was an aspect of conquering islands that, in my opinion, conquering islands is a bit too easy in Anno 1800, at least against the AI characters. You don't have to, there's no land campaign. You don't have to do anything. You just destroy their warehouse. And there's also economic victory where you can buy shares in their island. But there's no land campaign. You can't conquer stuff. You can't take over what's there. So there's no actual capture of anything. I'd love to see, okay, you know what? No, I got ideas. I mean, it won't help with 11.7 or whatever it is because it's too old. But I would have loved to see naval combat. Not just firing cannons at each other, but I'd love to see ship to ship combat, ship to ship, hand to hand combat, where you can capture a ship.
Yeah,
thank you. Boarding. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that'd be kind of. I don't know how you do that mechanic.
Boarding on the water. You could have waterboarding.
In the bay. I don't know how you do that mechanic in a top-down game super well.
I mean, you could.
Sure, you could do it. Way.
This has been done before, so you could approach the enemy ship, and then you could just have an event that pops up that basically goes auto-calc or manually
what's the
fight.
Other one, basically?
Where it would switch to
it's
an
RTS game?
Because it wouldn't, you could, as someone who only ever played Anno 1800, you could go, oh, well, that's not Anno. But 1602, literally the first game, had that. You could grab your soldiers and click and move them around and fight and micromanage, and it was a bad RTS, but it was an RTS.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a result there where it's actually good. That's one of the concerns that I think I have.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because in my opinion, one of the reasons why the naval combat works pretty well is because they needed to build a lot of those systems anyways for all the shipping and stuff. Mm-hmm. So they're building on top of other systems. There is no other system that would use...
Oh, what about bribery? Bribery would be an interesting element.
Be cool.
You could... Tariffs would be interesting.
Doesn't that exist?
Well, you can charge more for goods or less for goods or whatever else.
And then people just won't give them to you.
Man, trade is so complicated to build a good interface for. Like, even loving Anno, I don't really use trade with the NPCs much. I just trade amongst my own stuff because it's kind of too much work. Or I'll set like certain things, like the guy who runs the prison, he buys soap at a good price. So I'll distribute soap from my production island to all my islands that need it, and then I'll dump whatever's left at his island before going back to pick up more. So if you have a surplus production in your nation or whatever, then you can make money that way. But it's generally speaking a little bit too tedious. Hootmon says that's getting pretty close to a Total War game. That's fair. Maybe that's part of why I'm talking about it, because I did enjoy Total War games back in the day. I haven't played a modern one, but
and I'm getting a concern like when you have too many focuses for a team.
That's true.
It will inevitably diminish certain other things.
That's fair, and it could alienate the people that really just like building sprawling empires.
Yeah, I do think an ability to potentially do that, like maybe you have certain ships.
Spycraft.
Spycraft would be sweet.
But like, what would you spy? Because there's no tech tree in Anno.
But if you could have them influence riots.
Oh, sure. Or economic sabotage.
Yep.
That would be interesting.
So if you can screw up someone's like, what are those things called? The like trade centers where you install the things and it buffs the area around them.
Oh, trade unions.
Trade unions.
Yep.
If you could have them like sabotage trade unions.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
There could be potentially interesting things that you could do there.
All right, well, sure. In that case, I'm excited for Anno 11.7, and
if they made a ship that was built for boarding, but it was notably weaker, so you had to have it be part of a fleet, and then if you could damage another ship and then use that ship to board them, and then if you did that action, it just gave it to you.
But then thinking about how much there is to do in Anno, like, would you have time to micromanage that? Probably not. And that's part of what keeps it so engaging, is that there's always something, one more, shipment to attend to, one more trade to complete, one more expedition to follow up on. I think it might be kind of flow breaking. So maybe.
Yeah, maybe not.
You know what? I'm going to leave it to the experts. Oh, sorry. Is it 11.07 or 11.7? I actually don't know.
I'm pretty confident.
I haven't been paying attention.
And I've said this before and been super wrong, and I've said this before and been super right. So who knows? But I'm pretty confident it's going to be good.
I hope so.
I don't see, like, looking at the pattern of actions that they did for 1800, I don't see them breaking that so much with the really positive community sentiment that they had and everything else to take some.
They're also going to want to innovate, though. Yeah. So they're going to take some risks, and hey,
and I'm
they
sure
don't
they'll
always
do
work
some
out.
stuff. There's definitely areas that could be better. I think visibility of incoming quests could be better.
Yeah.
I think expeditions could be more engaging.
Yeah, right now it's just like it feels like a choose your own adventure book
where there's like almost always a obvious right answer.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too easy.
Or a lot of the time just isn't, because
there's either no right answer or no good answer.
Everything's a die roll, and it's just like, okay, this could have been automated.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel super great.
Yeah.
It's not terrible or anything, but it's not super great. Rod says Luke doesn't know. What do I not know? Oh, did I say I don't know? Darn
Nice.
it. Darn
Thanks,
it.
Rod.
Darn it.
Okay.